Have you ever wondered how some people are able to learn new skills fast? They churn out content, create new applications, develop new methods, movements, patterns, sounds, lyrics, basically new creations daily. These people create so effortlessly and observers start calling them names such as polymaths, generalists, gifted, or maybe a jack of all trades. In this video, I will explain a learning method that you can apply to improve your creative output. Okay, so let's start with this story. Some weeks ago, while at the office, I went into the lunchroom for lunch and sat at a table. Just opposite me from the same table sat an office colleague. Her face lit up when I sat down and she said, "Hello." I replied with a hi, and before I composed myself on the chair, she popped a question. It was like she had been hoping to ask me this question. So she said, "I have been seeing the many things that you have been creating online, and I just wanted to ask and also say to you that I have been trying to learn computer programming and software applications for some time now. I am also hoping to create applications and content just like you. Do you have any tips that could help me achieve my goals?" The question startled me a bit, and I asked her, "How has learning computer programming online been so far for you?" She said it has been overwhelming with a long face. I wasn't surprised with her response though. "I was in your shoes some months ago," I said. So what I have realized is that a lot of people adopt learning processes that hinder them from actualizing their goals. I think this issue stems from the educational system. 99% of people approach learning the way they were taught while in schools. So back to the story. So I asked my colleague if she would allow me show her some information. She obliged, so I brought out my phone and opened Google. She watched my phone screen with curiosity, and in the search bar I typed, "Learn computer programming." A result page of over 500 million results came up. Interesting result, you see? "Do you see those huge numbers?" She nodded. Okay, then I said, "How about we be more specific?" Then I typed, "How to use JavaScript to create a social media app for mobile devices." A result page of about 200 million results came up. Interesting, this is about half of the initial search result, I said. We both looked at each other in agreement. Okay, let's be even more specific. And I typed, "How to use JavaScript to create a login page for my mobile app." A result page of about 34 million results came up. "Do you see the difference?" I asked her, and she nodded in agreement. The difference between a result of 34 million and that of 500 million is that the result with a higher number would likely cause you to feel overwhelmed due to information overload. So this is the first step in my approach to learning anything fast. Before I commence learning, I break down my goals or my goal into little tasks by asking why. For example, if I wanted to learn a new language, say Spanish, first think about it. Learning a new language isn't a walk in the park, but if I were to refine my goal by saying, I want to learn Spanish so I can speak with my colleagues at the office, this changes your learning route. Now it's no longer as cumbersome as learning the whole Spanish. Now it's a stepping stone towards learning the whole Spanish. With this refined goal, when you get to your computer to research Spanish tutorials, you know exactly where and how to salvage information. On the flip side, this method also gives your brain dopamine, thereby giving you motivation to learn further. Let me explain this. Imagine you start learning some Spanish and during an office meeting you get to communicate in Spanish with your colleagues. Even if it's just some words, such a scenario makes you feel good about yourself. Now that's the sweet dopamine going into your brain to make you feel good. The process of redefining the goal from "I want to learn Spanish" to "I want to learn to communicate in Spanish with my colleagues at the office." The second phrase is much more specific. much more intentional, more goal-oriented. This is where precision comes into play. Third step. Now this is where it gets interesting and we separate the boys from the men. Break down your task into to-dos or smaller actionable steps. So for example of learning to speak Spanish with my colleagues at the office, a list of sequential actionable steps would be: find a reliable language learning app, platform, or website. Check online for YouTube channels. Establish a consistent study routine to build a habit, and a bunch of other to-dos. So outlining your task into actionable steps gives you a bird's eye view on your objective. Fourth step, apply the SMART framework to each outlined step to see if you need any iterations or changes. The acronym means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-related. Go back to your example and start from the first outline. So in this case, find a reliable language learning app, platform, or website. Now ask yourself, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable, realistic, and is it time-related? If it checks all the points, then move on to the next outline. If not, you would have to revise that particular outline by possibly looking for alternatives. That you shouldn't start the learning process if there is an outline step that doesn't meet up to the SMART criteria. Next step, finding your learning resources. Once you've applied the SMART framework to your outlined steps, it's time to gather the resources you would need for each task. This is where you can leverage on the vast expanse of information available on the internet. Remember, precision also applies to selecting the right resources. They should align with your specific learning goals. Next step, setting milestones and celebrating progress. Breaking down your learning process into manageable tasks not only provides clarity, but also allows you to set milestones. So celebrate each small achievement along the way. It could be as simple as completing a module or holding a basic conversation in Spanish with a colleague. Recognizing this achievement releases dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, which further fuels your motivation. Next step, embrace iteration as a path to mastery. Learning is a dynamic process. It's crucial to revisit and revise your approach as you progress. If you find that a particular resource or method isn't as effective as you hoped, don't hesitate to change. The ability to adapt and iterate is a hallmark of successful learners. Next step, immerse yourself. Now, you want to immerse yourself in the subject matter. Surround yourself with content related to what you are learning. Watch videos, read articles, engage in discussions. This not only reinforces your understanding, but also keeps you motivated. Next step, seek feedback and connect with a community. Don't be afraid to seek feedback from peers, mentors, or online communities. Engaging with others who share your interest can provide valuable insights and different perspectives. The last step, track your progress. Keep a record of your progress. This could be in a form of a journal, a digital document, or even a dedicated app. Being able to see how far you've come can be a powerful motivator, especially during moments of doubt and frustration. So this deliberate, focused approach propels you towards mastery.